Come on, Mike. Man, we got to introduce ourselves. I'll do it. Welcome to Two Dudes in a Garage. Hey, welcome everybody to Two Dudes in a Garage, episode 3. Again, Mike's still out of town at the beach. He is having a good time. I talked to him yesterday. He's having a lot of fun with messing you guys. So hopefully I can carry the reins until he gets back. And I really appreciate you guys still checking in with us and checking out the things that we have to say. And I look forward to him being back next week. Can't wait for him to come back, and he'll be back after the big debate on Thursday. Hopefully, actually, when this video shows, it'll be yesterday, but hopefully our boy Donald came out and kicked some butt, took some names, and hopefully for the American public, Joe stayed awake and did his part to at least show the American public the difference between policy, the policies he has and the policies Donald Trump has. And hopefully it was a good show, but our next episode will be about the debate and about the presidential race for episode 4. This episode I have titled Christianity in American Everyday Life. We have seen that Christianity has been villainized and basically expressed that Christian views are either one, outdated, or disrespectful in some cases, to not believing that there's a God. We've just seen a decay. You know, we had the award benefit or whatever it was last year, I believe it was, where I believe Sam Smith portrayed the devil in some song, and that would have never happened when I was younger. How quickly we forget that this country was based on Christian values and Christian beliefs, and we've gotten away from that. And with getting away with that, just like my last episode about fathers, we've seen the decay in the society we live in. And one of the things that brought this up, I wanted to talk about it today because I guess Louisiana passed putting in the classrooms the 10 Commandments. I don't understand why it's so controversial, but it is. And Texas is looking to do the same thing. First of all, besides the religious, things about the 10 Commandments, the rules that are on there should be like basic humanity rules. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. Honor thy father and thy mother. And I don't understand how it got to this point where it's such controversy. The ladies in The View lost their mind over this. I mean, not that I watch it, but I get to watch the clips, when I watch other sports people and other news networks, excuse me. And I see it on TikTok and I see it in other places. But, Whoopi Goldberg said, stay out of my body, stay out of my pocket, and stay out of my school. Well, when you talk about that, then why do I got to look in schools and see all over the country pride flags? You want to keep Christianity out of the schools, but you got pride flags everywhere. That goes against every belief I've ever taught my children or that I believe in my heart. But I have to look at it everywhere. It's in our schools. They're teaching our children this. And if you go against that, you're a bigot or you're a bad person or you don't want people to enjoy their lives the way they want to. That's not it at all. If I can't push Christianity because there's so many other beliefs, then how can you push your religion of pride? For the LGBTQ plus minus division sign, apostrophe, whatever they've added the next week, how come that can be pushed in our face at schools, movies, bumper stickers, signs, commercials, everywhere you look? That's all that's anywhere right now in the public eye. And it is pushed in every Christian's face every single day, all day long. I am a big lover of Star Wars. And the director for the new series, the Acolyte or whatever it's called, made a joke that this is the gayest Star Wars ever. Why? Who cares about including or don't including or whatever gay characters in a fantasy world Star Wars? Why does it got to be pushed in every single aspect of it? I listen to the books for the High Republic, and every single book talks about either two girls together or two guys together, or a guy and two girls, a guy and 13 boys. I mean, it's every single book has to dive into that and talk about the relationship and how wonderful it is and how magical it is. And there's very few, since, Han Solo and Princess Leia, men and women interaction that is promoted in the Star Wars universe anymore. There's no romance in the new series except for see two women kissing after a battle. And I have no problem whatsoever. It's your life. You choose what you want to do. I am not the judge. I'm one of those guys that believe, Jesus Christ and our God, our Father. They're the ones that get to sit on judgment one day, and that's between you and them. But I also don't have to sit and look at this constantly and then be told in the same breath that we can't teach Christianity to children because that's against the rights of the parents that don't believe in Christianity. Please explain to me the gospel. What is so evil about the gospel? About teaching people to treat one another the way you want to be treated, to treat people kindly, to help the needy. Everything about what Jesus taught is a positive thing for just life. And yet it is evilized compared to, hey, you can wake up this morning and do whatever the heck you want, act however you want, be with whoever you want, and let's promote my sexual preferences to the world. When did that become normal and Christianity become abnormal? And I just don't understand where that came about. And I know there's a lot smarter people out there that can explain exactly how it changed. Or, I'm sure people are going to say online and in comments and on Facebook and all that stuff how I'm being rude or have a bigotry towards homosexuality and all that stuff. I don't. It's not my place to do that. I am just tired of being force-fed every single place I go. I saw a bumper sticker. I stopped at the light yesterday. I saw a bumper sticker that said, "I'm so gay I can't drive straight." It's funny. It's comical. But why does everything got to be about that? I mean, there is nothing that goes on now that doesn't have it. I see commercials for freaking laundry detergent have a prideful month with a rainbow. I am a Christian. I take offense to that. In my beliefs, in my belief structure, a rainbow is about God's promise not to end the world with a flood again. That's what the rainbow means to me. I remember being a child and rainbows being this beautiful thing that when you saw it in the sky, you were like, oh, there's a rainbow. It's awesome. That's God's promise. Now, the rainbow is meant to associate with your sexual preference. How does anybody with common sense not go, man, this is a little bit too far. We have taken this to where people want to let other people live and do whatever they want to do, to now, I am telling you, my sexual preference is what you should believe is okay, is right. When as Christians do we get to stand up and say, no, it's not. It's not okay to teach it to my children in school. It's not okay to freaking everything that my kids watch or I try to watch has it in it. I'm not asking you to show men and women making out all the time. But all these commercials about HIV and you can take a pill and it's got two dudes kissing or laying in bed together. Man, I remember when Leave It to Beaver wouldn't even let a husband and wife stay in the same bed. They had two separate beds in the episodes. How have we gone so far to where that's okay and it's just terrible to be a Christian? And I'm not going to feel guilty about believing a man and a woman are what a relationship should be like. I'm not going to apologize for that. I don't see why anybody should. I'm also not going to target you or go after you if you don't agree with me. I'm just saying stop shoving it down my throat. And the basic, even take the religion out of it, basic human life is produced one way. Now, people are going to say, well, you can put it in a test tube and you can do all this other weird. I'm talking about naturally produced in one way, a man and a woman. And a man with a penis and a woman with a vagina. That's how you produce life, have children, and society continues on. unless there's some weird thing where you got done by a test tube or some infernalization or whatever that weird stuff is, most of the people that are out here talking about you got to trust in gay pride and you got to trust in I can be a guy or a girl or whatever I woke up today and decided to be, were produced by whatever the him, H, sexual people, whatever that is. They were produced by a man and a woman who hopefully were in love and produced this child out of love. And I just don't understand how all that religion is pushed in your face, but yet the Ten Commandments in a classroom is so controversial. And, and I am not trying to bash the LG whatever community. I'm not at all. But at the same time, man, I had never even really thought about it until it was pushed in my face constantly. Like we all have friends and we've known people through the years that, dude preferred another dude. And you might razz them a little bit or something, but it didn't change 95% of us. It didn't change the opinion of that person. You're just like, hey, man, that dude likes dudes. Okay, whatever. They're still funny. They're still nice. They're still kind. They're still caring. And they're still a good person. You don't think about it. It's just like that's their sexual preference. And 9 times out of 10, you even ask them. You weren't like, hey, man, I want to be your buddy, but I want to know if you like dudes. That didn't come up in a conversation. But now, if you express your heterosexuality, you're either way behind the times or you're a bad person. You don't care about us and you target us and you're homophobic. No, I'm not phobic about it. The only thing I'm phobic about is heights. You don't scare me because you're gay. I don't care. I'm not scared that the gay is going to rub off on me. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and be like, hey, I want to cut my wiener off. I'm not scared of that. I'm just tired of seeing it everywhere and not being able to express Christianity, at the very least, in the same fever as you are with the pride stuff. They got a whole month for pride. Do we have a Christian month? Is there a month for Christian? And really, what sets me on fire is you got a whole month for the heroes of pride. And you got 1 day for living veterans and 1 day for dead veterans. Does anybody else not see the problem, the dilemma in that? It makes zero sense to me. And it does, and I get riled up about it. And I really shouldn't because, I'm supposed to be at a good temperament and I'm supposed to be kind to everybody. And I have nothing but love. I just really am sick of it everywhere I go, man. Like just a normal conversation. Like turn on a normal TV show where it's just a bunch of kids playing or whatever. It amazes me that has to be in everyday aspect of every single person's life. You have to be shoved this stuff down your face. And then to see the guys go against Israel, the freaking gays for Palestine. But have you done any research, man? Zero. Like, over there in that society, they're throwing you off a roof, man. Like, they find out you're a dude with another dude, you're gone, man. Like, it's don't pass go, don't collect $200, it's death. You out, peace. And yet, you think those guys are great. And it just everyday life now is turned in America, it's turned into ridiculousness. And, we need to get Christianity back in our world, man. And it doesn't have to be like Baptist, Catholic, Presbyterian, Lutheran. I'm not facing for any one religion. Do whatever religion you want, except for have some kind of moral background. Something that your religion makes you a better person. A religion that makes you want to kill people, man, that's not good. A religion that tells you not to murder and not to steal and to honor your father and mother and to not lust after your neighbor's wife, stuff like that. Whatever religion that is, it doesn't have to be mine. It doesn't have to be what I believe in. It doesn't have to be about Jesus Christ. If you want a religion, have it. Just make it a moral religion that makes you a better person. That's what I don't understand about the fight on Christianity is that Christianity, and don't get me wrong, I know there's people out there that use it as a weapon, but for most general Christian, Christ-believing Christians, the thing they want to do is worship their God. They want to teach their children to worship their God. And they want to live a life. Now, I fail every single day. And most Christians I know do because we are sinners by nature. But what they want to live a life honoring their Lord and Savior. And doing it so is by living a good life, helping people, being generous, trying to tell the truth, not lying, on and on and on. They're about good moral values. And we are pushed all these things to go against that. And 9 times out of 10, we just sit back and go, let them do their thing. It is what it is. But man, when's enough? When do we take back the reins and say, hey, man, my values are at the very least, as viable and important as this value that you're putting on me every single day? You can hang a pride flag in the classroom. Okay, then I can hang my Jesus flag in the classroom. Or I can hang my cross in the classroom. If you can talk about the history of the world, which history books are written by men, okay? The Bible is a history book written by the divine intervention of God by men. So how is it any less value than any of the other history books you read? But, I'm preaching to the choir in weird terms, and I get really riled up about the subject because I just don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. And I am not, like somebody asked me the other day, they're like, hey man, what religion are you? I said, Jesus. They said, no, are you Baptist? Are you Catholic? I said, no, Jesus. I said, I go to different churches and I listen to the preaching at different churches and see, what hits home with me and where I feel comfortable and where I feel around believers that believe like me. I don't believe the Bible's changed. I believe the Bible's all the same. It's the same way it was when it was written. It's the same way it is now. Now, yes, men translate it, men do this, whatever, but I believe God's hand is on the entire Bible. And in the Bible, when it talks about men and women, it still means today, men and women. Society changing doesn't change the Bible. And I believe that whatever your belief is, you should have the right to worship it and you should have the right to stand by your beliefs. As long as it doesn't hurt someone else. I don't agree with everything in Baptist. I don't agree with everything in Presbyterian. I don't agree with everything in Catholics. I don't agree with everything. I don't agree with everything in Muslims. I don't agree with everybody in Buddhist. But at the same time, I ain't knocking anybody. As long as you're not trying to hurt me, I got no problem with it. Do your thing, man. And I just don't understand why everybody else and every other cult or religion gets all the hype in the world and protected by everything. And Christians are the least protected of everybody in our society now. And I'm biased, but I think that should be the most protected and most important thing in the world because it promotes kindness and goodness and love. It promotes so many great things. But sorry to get on a tangent. I went from just talking about stuff to getting riled up. It's just a very important subject to me. There is nothing in my life, and I would not have survived this long if it wasn't for the grace of God. And again, I don't live my life the way I should. I am a sinner by nature, and that I am a work in progress with hopefully letting the Lord lead me in the right directions and making me better each and every day. Because Jesus died on the cross for me and rose 3 days later for my sin nature, and so that I would have a path to heaven. And I want to get there. And I would like to make the world a better place in the meantime. As always, thanks for watching, man. We really appreciate it. Next week, Mike will be back. We will be talking about the post-debate stage. We'll be talking about Donald Trump and Joe Biden. I will try to keep my comments about Joe kind as I'm supposed to, as God wants me to be. Do the best I can. It's not always an easy task with old Sleepy Joe. As always, I love you. God bless. All the glory to Jesus Christ, our God and Father. And have a wonderful week. Be blessed. Take it easy. Love you.